Hey, good morning. And I hope you're having such an excellent day today because this is the day that the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice, yes, and be glad in it. I just wanted to redirect your attention this morning to a passage that we find in the book of Revelation, chapter 1. It says in verse 10, "It was the Lord's day and I was worshiping in the Spirit. Suddenly I heard behind me a loud voice like a trumpet blast. It said, write in a book everything you see and send it to the 7 churches in the cities of Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea." When I turned to see who was speaking to me, I saw 7 gold lampstands. And standing in the middle of the lampstand was someone like the Son of Man. He was wearing a long robe with a gold sash across his chest. His head and his hair were whiter like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were like flames of fire. His feet were like polished bronze refined in a furnace, and his voice thundered like the mighty ocean waves. And he held 7 stars in his right hand, and a sharp two-edged sword came from his mouth, and his face was like sun in all its brilliance. Now, when you read that, you get the idea. John is not having a minor incursion. He's having a major account, a major interaction with God. But it's not a God unknown to him because he was worshiping in the Spirit. A lot of times, we're wanting to hear and wanting to see and wanting to be a part of what God is doing, but we're not willing to spend time or worship in the Spirit. John is having an awesome experience, one that is frightening, I would have guessed, because by the time he heard the voice and looked around, he is seeing such a marvelous sight, a wonderful sight. But he's seeing some symbolisms that eventually make sense when God begins to speak to the churches that John himself has been ministering in and would have been around. So God is not giving him a message to people that he is unfamiliar with. They're very familiar. Sometimes we've got to hear what God is saying to those who are immediately around us. But first we've got to get ourselves in that place where God can actually speak to us. I find a lot of times these days, a number of people are saying God, God, but their lifestyles are not reflecting that. A number of people are saying God, God publicly, but privately, that's not happening. They're not calling on him. John is having a private encounter with God with meaning for a public occasion and for persons outside of his immediate environment. And God will speak to us. I believe God still wants to speak. I believe God is still speaking to people. And I believe God still wants to speak with you. Why not choose the day? Be in the Spirit. Worship in accordance with what the Spirit of God is leading you into, and become part and parcel of the thing God is doing. I want you to have a great day today, but I also want you to be walking in the will and in the Spirit of Almighty God as he gives you opportunity to do just that. God bless.